Continuing to look at the social world of the Bible and the world in which this document was written, and the social mores and cultural understandings and value systems that they lived in. Because the more we understand that, the more this book will open up, the more meaning it will convey. It brings a richness to it that that when I've read it, I've just been oblivious to it. One of the things, as I mentioned, that is working in this society is they're an honor-shame society. And honor is the positive value that a person has towards themselves and the value that others give to them. So if I have honor, if I feel honorable, it's because I have this positive sense about myself. And when others honor me, they're giving me that same sense. Well, there's a huge honor-shame system that's going on in this culture. And there were two ways that people generally were able to have honor. The first is that you were ascribed it, meaning that you were born with it. If I was born into the household of Caesar, there's a certain amount of honor that just comes with that. We have that to some sense if a person was a Rockefeller or they were a member of the Kennedy family in the United States, but not to the same degree. This is something that existed throughout their society. Whereas now, there may be 100,000 people living in my city, and there's not a lot of honor, shame going amongst the general population. There might be more honor to the mayor or more honor given to a policeman, but not generally between the grocer and the carpenter and the banker and the butcher. But in this society, it was a constant dynamic that was going on all the time. Now, when you begin to understand that some honor was ascribed, then you begin to get an additional richness to reading Luke chapter 3, verse 23. What is Luke 3:23? It's the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Why is that important? Well, first of all, it's important because it traces him back through to Abraham and the lineage and all of that, through the Davidic line. But there's also an element of honor, that when a person was born, there were two main families in Israel's society, Levites and the Davidic line. They were all descendants of Abraham, all descendants of Jacob, but the Davidic line, whoa, you're talking about the Joneses now. And that's part of what is conveyed in Luke chapter 3 with the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Yes, it is connecting him back to Abraham and back to David, but it's also ascribing an honor. He is the son of David, and that carries honor in and of itself. Also, in Luke chapter 4, verse 22, it says, "And all spoke well of him and were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips." This is the beginning of his ministry. And then the people said, "Isn't this Joseph's son?" Well, now you and I would look, well, wait a minute, he's making himself out to be this great guy and these gracious words, but there's also an element of honor. They're questioning him from their cultural setting. Wait a minute, this is Joseph's son. He's that guy, the carpenter. He's not that honorable. He's not, Joseph? How could this, what he's reading to us out of Isaiah, there's an honor differential going here, and there's a richness in it that if you don't understand it, you don't see it. In John chapter 1, verse 45, it says, Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We found the one Moses wrote about in the law, about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nazareth? Can anything good come from Nazareth? He's questioning Nazareth because it's a system, even cities had differentials in honor. There were cities which were imperial cities and others which were just basic little villages. Nazareth, can any good come out of Nazareth? He's questioning, it's an honor differential here that he's questioning. Because here, Philip comes and says, this is the one, it's the Messiah, the one that Moses wrote. Nazareth, can anything good come out of Nazareth? See, there's an honor differential, and it's a societal thing that they're trying to get their minds wrapped around. Another element of honor, another way that honor is earned or acquired is a better word, is it's basically acquired. One is I'm ascribed it by my birth, by my lineage, and I'm ascribed it by the place in which I was born and the setting in which I was born. And another one is I can acquire it. Well, I acquire it by merit. In other words, I do things that are honorable and my honor increases. Now, you can have honor conferred upon you by a tremendous achievement. So let's think about this now. Do you remember what happened when David killed Goliath? This is huge. It's not that he just killed this little young boy, just killed this giant. This was the giant who was intimidating and challenging the honor of all Israel. So here's Goliath challenging the entire honor of Israel, and this young kid comes out and slays him. David just acquired honor, more honor than all of them. And what was the song that they says in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 7 and 8? It says, as they danced, they sang, Saul has slain his thousands and David his tens of thousands. Saul was very angry. This refrain galled him. They credited David with tens of thousands, he thought, but me with only thousands. What more can he get but the kingdom? Saul's the king. This refrain is challenging the honor differential between David and the king. The king is the position of highest honor in that society. And now here's David, and he's given more honor than the king, and Saul was galled. This is huge. But if we don't understand that, we just read right past that, and you just don't see that what really was going on is Saul's honor is being challenged, and David is given more honor. This is a huge dynamic that's going on in this society, and it's a constantly flowing thing between people. In fact, another way that you could earn honor is by being challenged. It's when I am challenged, when someone challenges me verbally, I have to defend my honor. Now, what's going to happen is when I'm challenged, my honor is either going to go down or going to go up, depending upon how I defend myself. It's what we call a challenge riposte. And riposte it's a fencing term meaning a jab. So someone challenges me and I verbally jab them back. Let's take a look at Matthew 19:16. Now a man came up to Jesus and asked, Teacher, what good things must I do to get eternal life? This is not just merely a question. Yes, it is a question. It's not merely a question. Jesus' honor is on the line in how he responds in this situation. There's a lot more social dynamics going on than just the exchange of information. But as a Westerner, I don't see that necessarily. In Matthew 22, verse 15, then the Pharisees went out and laid plans to trap him. See, they were going to challenge him in his words. They sent his disciples along with the Herodians. Teacher, we know you're a man of integrity. Oh, you've got honor. You teach the way of God in accordance and you pay no attention. And then they basically challenged him. And what does he do? He says, render to Caesar the things of Caesar. Render to God the things of God. He defended back. He increased his honor, and it says that his honor went up. When we read the Bible, we've got to understand the social and cultural implications of this society to get the richness of what God is communicating to us.